When I sold cars, I tracked everything. Who walked in the front door? What lead source brought them in? When did they show up? How much commission did they pay? Etc. All this data allowed me to glean some key takeaways, like that foot traffic boomed between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. and essentially didn't exist outside that window. That tidbit of knowledge allowed me to optimize my schedule. Obviously, if people walk in between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m., it doesn't make sense to make phone calls, set appointments, or do paperwork in that window. I thought I struck gold. I thought I saw the matrix. I could now hack my way into selling a lot of cars. But I missed something big. While in MBA school, I picked business analytics statistics as my concentration. After graduating, I went back through all the data I had gathered while selling. Without taking a deep dive into how the statistics work, I'll say this. I had the data. So I set out to answer some key questions. Mainly, was selling cars even worth my time? I had data showing which lead types paid what commissions and closed at what percentage rates. For all you statisticians out there, you know that with that information, I can create a massive Monte Carlo simulation and back into answers for questions like, how many cars do I need to sell on average to make $100,000 per year? Long story short, I found that I needed to take about 60 ups, or face-to-face opportunities, per month to have a legitimate chance at $100,000 per year. The average salesperson took 30 ups per month and worked about 50 hours. In other words, one would have to do double the work of an average salesperson. So to make $100,000 selling Hondas, one would need to live, breathe, eat, and almost sleep at the dealership. This discovery didn't jive with what my sales managers peddled to us. Y'all can make $100,000 per year if you work hard enough. While that is correct, I only found 2 people making that kind of money. And both had been at it, at the same dealership, with tons of repeat referral business for decades. Oh, and both essentially still lived at the dealership. So, what was the big tidbit of knowledge that I missed? I didn't understand that I couldn't have it both ways. You can't make $100,000 selling Hondas and have a life. And if you get promoted to the finance office, sure, you make more money, but same story. No life. So promoting up doesn't solve that problem either. Let's tie this back to mobile home parks. With this gigantic Monte Carlo simulation, I proved with data the impossibility of having a life while selling Hondas. My managers were correct that it was possible to make $100,000. They understandably left out the part that it would come at a serious price. In other words, data told an undeniable story that could have helped me escape the car dealership a lot sooner. What's the giant Monte Carlo simulation for mobile home parks? And who are the sales managers peddling a story omitting key details you need to know? To start, you need to know how much liquid cash you have. From there, figure out how much return on investment you can reasonably expect based on market data, not someone telling you mom and pop sell for 10 caps. Then you need to be honest with yourself if your own cash won't get you there. Let's do some math. If you can hit a 20% cash-on-cash return and don't have any capital calls or CapEx, which is a big ask, then you need $500,000 liquid to achieve $100K annually. At 75% loan to value, $500K gets you about $2 million in mobile home parks. Northmark found that of 523 mobile home parks that sold last year in 2019, the average mobile home park sold for just shy of $42,000 per pad. 2 million divided by 42,000 comes to just shy of 50 lots. Let's just call that 50 lots. Using a 30% expense ratio and standard debt assumptions, you'd need to hit a lot rent of about $475 per month and have perfect collections to hit $100K in cash flow. I want to stress this again. Nothing can go wrong. Does this sound achievable? What if lot rents where you are looking aren't even close to that? What if the lender has liquidity requirements? So even if you had $500,000 yourself, you can't get debt on your own. There are certainly a lot of ways to poke holes in that academic example. However, that's not the point. The point is, do your own math. Know what you are signing up for. And if that example has you rethinking anything, press pause and ask yourself, how much money do you really have? If it's not enough, do you have investors? And what do your investors want return-wise? If it came down to it, would you live in the dealership, so to speak, like the car sales example? Do you think you love this industry enough to take that deep of a dive? If not, what does that mean for you? We used to joke at the dealership that people would get stuck, chasing more money, unable to leave for a more lucrative job, yet allured by the tantalizing promotion that could get them to the next level. It never happened. And when it did, those promoted mostly felt an amplified version of being stuck. Sound like your job? It's no different in mobile home parks, or really anything you get into the wrong reasons, lacking the true passion necessary to stick out tough times. Don't make that same mistake I made while selling cars. Do the math from the onset. Challenge yourself to find what the sales managers omit from their pitch. Sure, you can make $100,000 per year, but what's the true price you have to pay to achieve that? What's that for you in mobile home parks? Reverse engineer what you want using data, not stories. Make sure all the hard work you are putting into this yields exactly what you want out of mobile home parks. Because remember, it's not just you being affected by this. Your residents are also affected by the decisions that you make. At the car dealership, it was easy to fall victim to the hype stories and allure of more money, because to debunk that, I had to gather my own data over years to make informed, data-driven decisions. In mobile home parks, most data is publicly available, allowing you to not only be certain you have chosen the right path, but also to help you reveal the most efficient ways for you to get where you're going.